Good evening and welcome to Sunset News. I am Glenora Shipura, bringing you news, community stories, weather, economic news, and much more on this Sunday evening. Getting into the news tonight, Rosatom's country manager Victor Riedel on Thursday evening said they are looking at the possibility to build 1 or 2 small power nuclear plants in Namibia to help Namibia address its power shortages. According to him, such a plant would be completely built in Russia and brought to Namibia by ship, and Namibia can move it around to other countries where it could provide energy in the region. These are small nuclear power plants and for domestic markets. You can use it inside Namibia. You can sell it to South Africa, Angola, or Botswana. Currently, you are importing 65% mostly from South Africa. What is interesting is that our colleagues Uranium One produce uranium, and you can receive nuclear fuel after enrichment from Russia, he said. Headspring Investments, a subsidiary of Uranium One, part of the Russian state-owned nuclear corporation Rosatom, has plans to conduct exploration drilling in the area. During a media engagement, Riedel pointed out that while currently Namibia primarily engages in uranium mining for export, there is potential to leverage these resources for domestic energy production. He stressed the stability of uranium prices and the opportunity for Namibia to diversify its business ventures using this valuable asset. Getting to our next story, the executive chairperson of the National Youth Council, Sharnice Bush, stated that maladministration in the organization hinders its performance. Bush was speaking at the official opening of the 9th Representative Council meeting, which officially convened on Friday and ended on Saturday in Ondangwa. The council meeting saw the members of the NYC in individual camps, with some supporting Bush and others supporting the director of the NYC, Calista Schwartz-Hohases. Bush said the 9th Representative Council meeting comes at an opportune time for young leaders in Namibia. Let's take a look.
Our ability to function properly. It is also common knowledge that these issues have been jointly investigated by the Ministry of Sport, Youth and National Service, the Ministry of together with the Ministry of Finance and Public Enterprises, to make recommendations and find suitable courses of action and intervention on how these issues must be addressed. By all accounts, but especially from where the Board of Council is sitting, this meeting provides us an opportunity to properly ventilate some of the issues concerning NYC's efficiency and effectiveness, to robustly engage and resolve on these challenges and opportunities, and to leave Ondangwa with a united organization satisfied with the work that we have done. Actions that we have taken, actions that is taken with the integrity that we have as young leaders to build the National Youth Council House. To borrow from the words and the teaching of the late Dr. Hage Geingob, it is easy to destroy, but very difficult to build. I have no doubt.
Rosalia Martins Hausiku, CEO of the Motor Vehicle Accident Fund, said the accident rate in Kavango West, mostly pedestrian crashes, has more than tripled in the last years.
Interchange in terms of 3rd place, and then we also have Oshikoto region coming in. Now it's the same trend that we've seen with injuries as well, and then with fatalities as well. There seems to be a direct correlation. However, with fatalities, I wanted to highlight in 6th place. We also see Kavango West coming in, and that's the incidence of pedestrian crashes. We also see Ohangwena coming in terms of the fatalities. Now, there's a few things that I wanted to highlight today. On crashes, Kavango West experienced a concerning 50% increase in crashes. Again, they are related to the incidence of pedestrian crashes. And then Kunene also experienced an increase. This is now a comparison of 2023 and 2022 data. We also see then that Kunene also came in with a 42% increase. However, when it comes to the crushes, Ongwena declined by 27% over the past year. So despite these fluctuations in the regions, we've noticed that there has been a 3% decline overall in terms of crushes within the youth of the age group 18 to 35. Now, when it comes to injuries, Omaheke coming in, recording the highest increase since 2022 to this year, to 2023, and an increase of 34%. By the way, so what we did differently today, we summarized these stats for you. We'll give.
Getting into our next story, President of the Namibia Professional Hunting Association, NAPA, Axel Kramer, recently featured on the Big Game Hunting podcast to promote ethical hunting practices globally. In the podcast, Kramer discussed the introduction of NAPA's age-related trophy hunting measuring system. According to NAPA, this initiative aims to encourage the hunting of older post-prime animals, supporting wildlife population management and biodiversity. Kramer's advocacy for the system highlights NAPA's forward-thinking approach to conservation and ethical hunting standard, it said. NAPA said that during a detailed discussion, Kramer explored the nuances of this innovative system, which prioritizes the hunting of older post-prime animals to ensure the sustainability and ethical management of wildlife populations. The system's potential has been recognized to significantly contribute to conservation efforts in Namibia, highlighting its alignment with global best practices for sustainable hunting. According to NAPA, the emphasis on targeting animals that have had the opportunity to contribute genetically to their populations resonated with the show's theme of responsible hunting. Moving on into our economic news, what does FDI actually mean? Is it possible that Namibia's FDI is understated? Economist Salamo Hay addresses these questions after this commercial break. Economist Salamo Hay was among the speakers at this year's budget discussion hosted by Standard Bank, and in this Q&A session, he addresses issues relating to FDI in the oil and gas industry. Let's take a look.
Thank you. Yeah, I think FDI in its very nature is a very complex exercise, and as more so in the mining sector, which essentially is the oil and gas. Remember, there was a time that there was exploration activity by a company called HRT, right? They found non-commercial oil. But in our books as a country, it was recorded as FDI, right? Because of the activity that took place there. This goes to the point of both the budget statement and what Mr. Mungunda alluded to when he said that it's a capital-intensive sector to the extent that it doesn't necessarily have the transformative nature of, say, a job, immediate value add to the economy. However, that can be created. It can be created through policy imperative. So whether I wouldn't want to to dwell or to delve into whether it's over and understated. I think the guys from transfer pricing, who are much smarter in making sure that the settlements accrue to the correct country, will speak to that. But the nature of the FDI is that if you've got policy certainty around what is it that Namibians stand to benefit within the local content in relation to the oil and gas, the issues around settlement, the issues around what must be settled here, the issues around which sector is solely for Namibians, for local content, the policy will be able to define that. And that's why it's so important for us to make sure that our policies are defined to the extent that even in countries where there's war, people know there's war. When they go into a country where there's war, they know that they have to shoot to get whatever minerals. So if you don't want to shoot, you don't go into that country. So the point I'm making is that if the local content is getting 30% of this, the policy must be that clear so that there's no gray areas. And through that,
Thank you.
the issues are around how does FDI accrue to the country will be settled through that.
Thank you.
Let's take a look at our financial indicators. The Namibian dollar trades against the British pound at 23.84, against the euro at 20.40, against the US dollar at 18.75, 2 Namibian dollars and 60 cents gets you 1 Chinese yuan. On the commodities market, gold went down while platinum, copper and Brent crude oil went up. Brent crude oil trading at 0.21%, going for $85 and 66 cents per barrel. After the break, we tackle our story of the day. President of the Namibia Institute of Architecture, Vernon Mwazi, gave a keynote address on Friday at their Merit Awards that awarded 15 out of 27 submitted projects. The winning architectural projects include the Bakhmus Fuel Depot in Walvis Bay, the Be Free Center of Excellence, and the St. Augustine Church. The last Architectural Merit Awards last took place in 2017. Una Ferreira of Una Sturman Architects won a Merit of Achievements Award for 2 of her projects at the awards, which took place at Droompost. Let's take a look.
But to sum it up, the proof is in the pudding in what we've seen tonight, or what we will see tonight. These creations are spaces not only functional, but also aesthetically pleasing whilst maintaining the budget, brief, and the brief provided by the client. A building is a lifelong investment, so it's important to get it right the first time. And going back to my mentions of the quantity surveyors and engineers earlier, is just to show our gratitude and importance of our collaboration. Once again, we are here by no means still. Materials, technology, techniques, climate change are all variables which are constantly changing in our industry. And I implore each and every architect sitting here today to maintain the variability of our industry. Adapt, learn, trust in your abilities, and make sure that you are part of the change so that you affect new buildings, buildings that respond to where we are and the times we live in. I take my hat.
Good evening. My name is Una Ferreira, Director of Una Sturman Architects. Today was a wonderful experience, unexpected. We were part of the Merit Awards for Architects, and we submitted 2 of our projects called the St. Augustine Catholic Church, which is built in Katatura, and the Be Free project, which was under the office of the First Lady, and it's also built in Katatura. and we just won or were awarded 2 of the Merit Awards of Achievement tonight at the Merit Awards for Architects. Yeah. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It's actually, it's thanks to God. I believe he orchestrated everything. He's actually the big architect, and he designed our lives for what they should be. And I am just thankful. I'm thankful to the people in my life, the office that I'm part of, everybody there. 2 particular people that work for me is Dominique Klute. He worked with me on the church, St. Augustine, and Jeremy Scholes worked with me on the Be Free project. But we've got an office at large also where people were just supporting us. So thank to all of them. Thank you to the sponsors of tonight were also the products that we specified in our building. So thank you to them too.
Ukrainian bombardments killed 2 people and set an oil facility ablaze in Russia on Saturday, on the second day of elections. This and more international stories coming up after the break.
Welcome to Namibia, where adventure meets tranquility. With Enjoy, you have access to a wide range of accommodations to suit every traveler's taste and budget. Experience the finest dining and hospitality Namibia has to offer. Booking your dream accommodation is just a few clicks away with Enjoy. Join thousands of happy travelers who have trusted Enjoy for their Namibian getaway. Your gateway to unforgettable Namibian adventures. Visit us today at enjoy.my.na.
In our international news, starting us off, Ukrainian bombardments killed 2 people and set an oil facility ablaze in Russia on Saturday, officials said, on the second day of elections guaranteed to cement President Vladimir Putin's hardline rule. Presidential polls opened this week, but voting has been marred by an uptick in fatal Ukrainian aerial attacks and a series of incursions into Russian territory, allegedly by pro-Ukrainian sabotage groups. Fresh bombardments prompted authorities to close schools and shopping centers in the Belgorod region bordering Ukraine, undermining the Kremlin's efforts to isolate Russians from its conflict in its neighbor, particularly during the highly touted elections. Putin, who cast his vote online, vowed a harsh response to the assaults and accused Kyiv of trying to disrupt his bid for another 6-year mandate. The governor of the Belgorod region said air defense systems had downed 8 Ukrainian missiles, but that 2 residents were killed and others injured. Russia's defense ministry earlier said it had downed rockets, missiles, and drones in the border regions of Belgorod and Kursk that have suffered an uptick in fatal attacks in recent weeks. The ministry later said it had fought off more attempts to infiltrate into the territory of the Russian Federation by Ukrainian militant sabotage and reconnaissance groups. The border attacks were a concern for voters hundreds of kilometers away in the town of Sergiev Posad outside Moscow, famous for its ornate Orthodox monastery with golden onion domes. Casting her ballot from home with the help of election officials going door to door to collect votes from the elderly. 87-year-old Ines Raskova said she hoped the polls would bring about an end to the conflict with Ukraine. Putin said this week in televised comments that the spate of aerial and ground assaults by Kyiv's forces will not go unpunished. The 71-year-old has been in power in Russia since the last day of 1999 and is set to extend his grip over the country until 2030. Getting into our next story, 2 senior UK lawmakers on Friday became the latest from the ruling Conservatives to announce that they will stand down at the next election as Rishi Sunak's party appears headed for defeat. Armed Forces Minister James Heapay said he had taken the painful decision not to fight his seat at the nationwide vote, which is expected to occur in the second half of this year. His announcement came after Brenton Lewis, a former chairman of the Tories, who was also Northern Ireland and Justice Secretary, said late Thursday he would not be a candidate. At least 66 Conservatives and former Conservatives have now announced they are leaving Parliament at the election, the most since Labour's landslide win under Tony Blair in 1997. The most high-profile of them is former Prime Minister Theresa May, who revealed last week that she would step down after 27 years as an MP. The retirement adds to a growing feeling in Westminster that the election will see the Tories kicked out of government after 14 years in power. The Conservatives have consistently trailed the main Labour opposition led by Keir Starmer in national surveys since October 2022. Numerous resets by Sunak have so far failed to claw back support, although the polls are expected to narrow as polling day gets nearer. We'll get into our weather predictions shortly. Let's take a look at our weather predictions for the country. Katima Mulilo, Rundu, Enana, Oshakati, and Ruacana can expect partly cloudy conditions with a minimum temperature for Katima Mulilo at 19 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 36 degrees Celsius. Oshakati can expect a minimum of 23 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 35 degrees Celsius. Hentis Bay can expect a minimum of 17 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 22 degrees Celsius, while Rehoboth can expect partly cloudy conditions with a minimum of 21 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 37 degrees Celsius. Let's now take a look at our sports news. The Oshiwa MTB Eagle Ride 2024 kicked off on Saturday, the 16th of March. Ladies half marathon winner Rosemary Thiel had this to say briefly after finishing first in this competition.
Hello, I'm Rosemary Thiel. Just finished the 40 kilometers. It was very nice. It was hot and flat and fast. I enjoyed it.
Charles Hambira's goal secured a 1-0 victory over African Stars over Eshoke Chula Chula FC at the Oshakati Independence Stadium, while Blue Waters beat Civics 2-1 today in the Debmarine Namibia Premiership. Young Brazilians at Julino Sporting played to a 1-1 draw in Keetmanshoop. The first round of the Motocross National Championship of Namibia kicked off on Saturday morning at the Galina Motocross Park in Windhoek. Secretary General of the Namibia Motorsport Federation, Derek Jacobs, said that the event boasts over 40 entries of various classes.
Morning, I'm Derek Jacobs, the Secretary General of the Namibia Motorsport Federation. I'm also the Motorsport Steward today at the first round of the Motocross National Championship of Namibia. We have 40 entries today with various classes, right from 50cc up to 125. Then there's the veterans class where they race 450cc motorcycles. And there's also the little ones that race in the junior category. There are 3 heats each today for each category. And then we have a King of the Dirt at the end of the day where any motorcycle rider with 1 to 5 cc's and bigger can take part. The juniors don't race in the King of the Dirt because it's all the big guys that race in the King of the Dirt event.
And with that, we've come to the end of the broadcast. Thank you for joining us on this lovely Sunday evening. Do make sure you join Sunset News on Facebook, on all the NMH platforms on weekdays, as well as on our website, 1up2.com. Sunset News screens on DSTV channel 285 and GoTV channel 25 every weekday and Sundays from 7:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. I am Glenora Shipura, and this has been Sunset News. Don't end your day without us.